New details unfolding in the widely publicized Diddy Combs sex assault lawsuit, now naming Maui Police Chief John Pelletier as a defendant among several others, including comedian Drewski and Odell Beckham Jr. Cameron Hurd of Common Cause Hawaii advocates for government accountability.
What you read is it's horrifying. It is so sobering and dark doesn't even cover it. It's sheer evil.
Court documents allege Combs and others raped plaintiff Ashley Parham at a California home in 2018 and claim Pelletier posed as a Contra Costa sheriff to help cover it up. The nearly 90-page lawsuit says Parham reported the rape to Pelletier, who allegedly did not offer to take her home or seek emergency services. Parham then claims Pelletier handed an envelope to a neighbor that she believed contained cash before he left.
There's still a due process that does need to happen. There are still more facts that we need.
At the time, Pelletier was a police captain in Las Vegas. Two other plaintiffs, an unnamed mother and her son, claim Pelletier took them at gunpoint. They reportedly demanded warrants, to which Pelletier allegedly threatened to shoot them if they didn't obey. The lawsuit says the two were taken in a black SUV to what they believe to be Pelletier's Las Vegas home, and then eventually driven to the Beacon Grand Hotel in San Francisco, where they were allegedly beaten and drugged by other defendants. Pelletier allegedly told others involved he would stay at another nearby hotel so the crimes wouldn't be linked to him. The pair were then taken to the same home as Parham and said they witnessed her assault. The male plaintiff says Combs and other defendants tried to force him to also rape Parham and believes they were trying to pin it all on him. When all three called 911, Pelletier allegedly interfered, telling a local responding officer to turn off his body camera and that he was on a stakeout for a federal drug trafficking investigation and would report back to the local precinct. The complaint adds Pelletier told the other officer the plaintiffs were homeless, and when they refuted those claims, they were threatened and told to shut up. Maui lawmakers react to the allegations.
Disbelief, in shock, not knowing, like, what is this about? I have basically only good things to, experiences and memories and things to say about Chief.
John Pelletier has been a great chief of police on Maui. We're just going to have to wait and let the facts unfold in all fairness to him and not rush to judgment.
Pelletier outright denied the accusations in a statement on Tuesday, saying in part, "Let me be clear. The allegations made against me are completely false, and I have not been formally served with any legal paperwork." Maui's top cop added he was deeply disappointed by Mayor Richard Bissen's request to place him on administrative leave pending further investigation, calling the ask premature and unjust. Pelletier promised to cooperate with any necessary processes, but went on to say, "However, I firmly believe no one should face professional consequences based on unsubstantiated claims. I remain committed to the officers, staff, and residents of this county." Aali Iduklo, Island News.
In a statement from the State of Hawaii Organization of Police Officers says when an officer is accused of serious misconduct, they have the right to due process. It is critical that the Maui Police Department's top officer be treated the same way any patrol officer under his command is treated. I believe the intentions behind Mayor Bissen's measured request to swiftly address the allegations are grounded in his desire to do what is best for the MPD and the people of Maui.
Hey there, Patriots. This is True Outlaw Patriot coming at you with another one. Well. Looks like Maui's top cop is going to be investigated, as you all have heard. And we got a couple of other things to cover on that. Because it seems like Diddy's list of players now include the Maui police chief and also an ex-Giants NFL player, Odell Beckham Jr., which I find kind of strange, but with the way things are going on, at this, with the people that P. Diddy did business with, I mean, it's anybody's guess who's on, or who was, I should say, on his list. The funny thing about it is that with all the scrutiny that's going on, okay, all the drama that's going on with the Epstein list, I think it's only fair right now as this stands, that, and I'll give my reason why in a little bit. I think that this is something that, in all honesty, they're saying that it's a civil case. I think the federal government needs to get involved. Okay, and the reason why I say that is because, everybody pushed the Epstein list to the side. Pretty much everybody on the left. Okay, and if anybody knows the corruption that goes on in Hawaii, which is no secret, I think it's only fair that, you know what, I think the government should start pushing harder against Diddy, and they start going after names. This cannot be another Epstein cover-up. Okay, and I say that because the difference in this is that Epstein is not here, P. Diddy is. Okay, and this whole web of celebrities and public officials or whatever have you, being on these types of lists and being called out by victims, and yet nobody has really gone to prison. And if they do, one ends up dead, the other one ends up pretty much incognito. Enough is enough. Okay, enough is enough. The statement that was just given, I laugh at it because for the police chief or whoever is representing him, saying that he needs to be given due process, and all the facts got to come out or whatever the case is. Do people forget that when the whole fire happened in Maui, the way him and his goon squad were treating civilians and reporters in Maui? Does anybody forget that? Does anybody forget about the reporter that was basically threatened by police officials in Maui? And now all of a sudden, Pelletier's name comes up with the names of a couple of other people, and right away it's like, don't believe your lying eyes or ears. Now don't get me wrong. The guy may be innocent. This may all be a farce. This may be something where somebody's trying to get some attention. But me personally, I don't think so. And there's a couple of reasons why. And we'll get to it in a minute. So let's get some music and we'll get right back into it. Here we go. Okay, people. So the reason why I say that that I don't think this is something where a couple of people decided, or one person decided to pull something like this, is because, number one, there's supposedly 2 or 3 plaintiffs, not just a woman, also a man. Okay, that's number one. Number two, how can I say this without pissing people? Well, you know what? It doesn't matter how you say it. Okay, the way I see it, who would come up with a scenario like this where they would go and pick and choose different celebrities and try to put them together? Okay, and you're going to see what I'm talking about after we play the next two, or I'm going to play the next news clip and then another one after that. I just think that it's far-fetched that one person or 2 people got together and they said, let's hatch this plan together. We're going to grab P. Diddy, and then we're going to grab the police chief to Maui, and then we're going to go and grab Odell Beckham from the New York Giants. 3 different people from 3 different walks of life, even though they're all, in the spotlight, fortunately and unfortunately. And it's like, you mean to tell me that 2 people that were supposedly homeless put this together? And to get what? To get money from who? In all honesty. Because it all supposed to start with P. Diddy. He's in prison. You're not going to get anything from him. Okay. Odell Beckham, I do believe he would have more money than Pelletier. Okay, so if anything, you can easily just go for Odell Beckham. You don't have to add the police chief. Okay. Number 3, if you just wanted to go after one person, you already know you can't go after Diddy. You could just easily go after the police chief in Maui. But why all the way from Vegas or wherever these people are from making this claim, why go after the police chief even though he's in the United States, but he's on a separate island? Like, what do you get out of that? Would he actually think they're going to fly him in all the way into California or wherever the case is coming from, the claim, and try to start a case from there? So in my opinion, even though I do believe that everyone is innocent till they're proven guilty, me personally, with the background that P. Diddy has, with the background that the Chief Pelletier has in Vegas and in Hawaii, something tells me that there is a connection in this, and I'm going to say that right now, I am 60-40 for the people that are making this claim. That's just my opinion. And I'll explain some more on little details if you haven't picked them up already. But with that being said, let's get to this news clip. Here we go.
Maui's police chief, a famous football player, and a comedian are among the high-profile men accused in a civil lawsuit of participating in or facilitating crimes alongside rapper Diddy Combs.
And the chief and others say it is not true, but now Maui's mayor is asking the police commission to place the chief on leave while this is investigated.
Figures.
A nearly 90-page lawsuit accuses John Pelletier of serving as muscle for Diddy Combs in California and Las Vegas, several years before Pelletier left Las Vegas to become Maui County Chief of Police. The same suit accuses NFL player Odell Beckham Jr. and a comedian known as Drewski of rape. We asked the chief, county, police commission, and police union for a response. A Maui Police Department spokesperson says the chief has no connection to anyone in the suit. We are confident that the evidence will demonstrate these claims to be false and will expose those who are deliberately trying to manipulate the legal system to spread misleading narratives. The union declined to comment. We asked the plaintiff's attorney for additional comment too, without reply. Then, late Monday, the mayor's office forwarded us a letter he sent to the Maui Police Commission, calling for Pelletier to be placed on administrative leave pending further investigation. Mayor Richard Bissen says due process must be observed, but the existence of these allegations alone presents concerns regarding public trust, adding that putting the chief on leave and launching an independent investigation does not constitute a presumption of guilt, but ensures that he is not in a position that may compromise the integrity of the office while the matter is under review.
Right.
We asked the chief's office for additional response to the mayor's move. Beckham Jr. said on his social media, "I really can't even believe that my name is mentioned in that matter. There is absolutely no truth to those allegations." Drewski said on social media, "This allegation is a fabricated lie. I was broke living with my mom without any connections to the entertainment industry at the time of this allegation. So the inclusion of my name is truly outlandish." KHON2's legal analyst explains why high-profile people can be targeted by lawsuits.
It's not uncommon at all for high-profile people to be named, especially be named as a large group of defendants in this kind of lawsuit. And the reason why is because when you're sitting at a very high level in the government, whether you're the police chief or a mayor or the governor of a state, it's very easy to be targeted because then that potentially opens up the finances and the wallet.
The accusations date back to 2018 when Pelletier was still on the mainland with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. He is accused, among other things, of posing as a Contra Costa California sheriff in order to deter a woman from filing a rape charge.
I think the thing about high-profile people is that they do have a strong presence in terms of anybody being able to Google or determine whether or not somebody is actually in the vicinity and then of doing something because they were in that location. Again, we don't know. Maybe these specific allegations are true, but the best thing to do is to wait for the lawsuit to play out and find out whether they are true or completely false.
Other unnamed plaintiffs alleged Pelletier arrested them at gunpoint in Las Vegas under bogus warrant charges and restrained them in his home. They allege Pelletier kept a list of safe houses for parties. The lawsuit involving Pelletier is a civil matter. Combs' case is criminal, involving sex trafficking, plus numerous civil lawsuits.
There's a difference between a civil case, which is one person suing another person for money, versus a criminal case, which would be the government investigating somebody and then accusing that person of a crime for which they might end up doing prison time or have to pay a large fine to the government.
Now, in response to the mayor's call for the chief to be put on leave, his spokesperson says, "We stand by the statements released earlier today in which the chief strongly denies all of the allegations in this suit." His spokesperson says the baseless allegations not only hurt him, but show a lack of respect for victims of abuse.
Okay. We're going to have to unpack a little bit here, if you ask me. On the police chief's part, like I said, on this whole thing, I'm going to be 60-40. There's a couple of things that popped up that caught my attention. On the first video clip, okay, it says that the people that are making the claim said that the police chief tried to tell, if I got it right, tried to tell another cop that when a certain situation happened that the two people involved were homeless, and they said that they weren't homeless. Okay, so let's start from there. Okay, two homeless people get it in their head to say, we're going to concoct this story and put this together. We're going to go and pick Chief Pelletier, okay, Puff Daddy, Odell Beckham Jr., and another up-and-coming, if we can say that, comedian. Now, the comedian claims that he has nothing to do with that because at that time, he was broke and living at his mom's house. That's an easy Google search, if you ask me. So I think where they need to start checking between that man, they would have to check between him and P. Diddy to see if they knew each other back then. That's just my opinion, because anybody that has been paying attention, and everybody that has been part of this whole Diddy circle, okay, of influential people, whenever he would throw any of his parties, which they will call a freak off, I mean, we've heard it from so many different people. Anybody and everybody was invited to his parties. It wasn't just music moguls, and it wasn't just movie stars. It was a mixture of all types of celebrities that would go. People that were known, people that were not known, people that were going to be known, lest anybody forget that little, what was she, 13 or 14-year-old girl that they basically groomed, okay, at the time. A girl basically from a very, maybe low-income family that he just happened to want to adopt and wind up passing her around, sadly, like the piece of shit that he is. Okay? And I'm going to digress on that because it's going to get me upset. We're going to stick to one thing at a time. So that's number one. Where would these people come up and concoct this story? On top of that, okay, we're going to get to another video clip real quick. It states in the report that the police chief told the other cop to turn off his camera, to turn off his body camera. You can't just put all these things together and make it sound real unless you were there and it happened. Okay, those are the little details that people are probably going to want to ignore it, or they're going to miss it, or they're really going to be like me and say, you know what, wait a minute, these little details, stick out. Another one, everybody knows how heavy-handed Pelletier was in Maui when the fires happened. Everybody knows how his goon squad went out and lied and treated people like crap. Okay, and there's proof of it. This is not just me saying it. There is plenty of people out there that went and tried to investigate on their own, and they were pretty much on camera showing how they were treated like crap. Okay, and that could only come from one spot, and that's from the police chief. So he doesn't come to the table getting the job in Maui without a stain on his record. Another little detail that people need to understand: what made him leave LA to go to Hawaii? It's like basically, and no offense towards anybody in Hawaii, but it's almost as if he was trying to, and like I said, this is just my opinion, why get up and go, but at the same time you're going to demand more money for the job? It wasn't like they called him up and said, listen, we'd like you to take this job, and he came out and said, all right, I'll do it for this and this amount. No, that story has already been proven that No, he basically went there and demanded more money. Okay, so what kind of a setup was that? So it makes you wonder. It's not like he was going to another country to get away if he had any dirty laundry back in Vegas, but it makes you wonder, why so far? If he was doing such a good job in Vegas, don't you think, and this is a question that a lot of people brought up, I highly doubt if he was doing such a good job in Vegas that they wouldn't have tried to offer him more money so he didn't have to leave. Okay? There's a lot of corruption out west. Okay? Everybody knows it's all, Democrat, liberal, Hollywood, music industry, it's all corrupt. And it's no secret that politically in Hawaii, it's also corrupt. I mean, it's been said many times that it's almost as if a mafia family is running things in Hawaii. Then again, you have to ask the next question. Everybody knows that P. Diddy threw all these parties in different areas. Again, for these people to come out with little details for me that stick out, one of them was them saying that he had a few stash houses where he would, he would use. Those are little details that why would anybody put a story together and then put all these little details that actually can stick to people if you point out to the right people. Okay? The whole Odell Beckham thing, I mean, I looked it up. He signed with the Giants back in 2014. As far as that comedian, like I said, is he somebody that they pulled out at random? Maybe, but another little detail. Why? He's nothing big. They could have easily picked out Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart has hung out with P. Diddy. They could have picked out Will Smith. Will Smith has hung out with P. Diddy. You see what I'm saying? They could have picked out any other high-profile comedian, but they brought out somebody that really has no name, and especially at that time, or was he part of the crowd? His name just didn't get big enough. Think about that. Okay? And I wouldn't put it past, again, the chief of police of pulling some, and I have to be careful. I'm not trying to prove that he's guilty already. What I'm saying is that the guy has a shady record. It's no secret. Okay? And it's no secret that in California, in Vegas, in Hollywood, these people, they look out for each other. And God only knows who P. Diddy knows, who he has in his his Rolodex, who he has written down on a private, in a private book, which is something else that somebody claimed. Not somebody claims. It's been said that when he got arrested, that he supposedly called up his son, and they were trying to speak in code over the phone, something to the effect of pizza boxes or something like that, and they took it as it must be contact logs. Okay? And this is why I say that, you know what? Right away you see the news, they're trying to say that it's a civil suit, it has nothing to do with the government, this and that. Why would you throw that out there? If P. Diddy, and if they're saying that P. Diddy is serving a criminal suit, but what's happening right now, it can't be constituted as a criminal suit, just a civil suit, why would you throw out that information right away all of a sudden? It makes you wonder. Are they trying to throw people off so like that the government doesn't step in? I don't know, like Pam Bondi, being that she's already trying to get the Epstein files. You know they're going to try to tie it into they're going to try to tie P. Diddy's Rolodex with his contacts with Epstein's. I mean, there's talk that P. Diddy made it to his island also. I'm just saying. It's almost reminiscent of what happened in Vegas. The way, I think it was the same day or the very next day when the police department was putting out information. One of the first things they came out and said was that for no one to believe what's put out on social media. Why would you say something like that? And once again, it's reminiscent now. The media is over here saying it's a civil suit. It's not a criminal suit. Nobody's asking that question yet. But it's almost like as if they're trying to push that criminal suit, out of everybody's mind. Because, in all honesty, with what P. Diddy is going through right now, with the way the Trump administration is having people investigate the Epstein files, the criminality that a lot of people are saying surround the mayor, the governor, and the police chief in Maui, and the fire chief, it's almost as if they're like, we don't want the government to get involved. And in my opinion, like I said, I think that yes, they should get involved, because P. Diddy's name is all over this. That's just my opinion. If you think the same way I do, leave it in the comments. If not, it is what it is. But it would not surprise me. And I'll say another reason why it wouldn't surprise me, but let's play the next video clip. Here we go.
Football player and a comedian are among the high-profile men accused in a civil lawsuit of participating in or facilitating. Maui's police chief, a famous football player, and a comedian are among the high-profile men accused in a civil lawsuit of participating in or facilitating crimes alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The chief and others say it's not true. But now Maui's mayor is asking the police commission to place the chief on leave while it's being investigated. Gina Mangieri has more. Gina?
Well, rapper Sean Diddy Combs is in custody awaiting federal criminal trial on racketeering and sex trafficking charges. And now a civil lawsuit filed in federal court in California alleges current Maui police chief John Pelletier served as security and facilitator for Combs, sometimes impersonating law enforcement jurisdictions. A nearly 90-page lawsuit accuses John Pelletier of serving as muscle for Sean Diddy Combs in California and Las Vegas, several years before Pelletier left Las Vegas to become Maui County Chief of Police. The same suit accuses NFL player Odell Beckham Jr. and a comedian known as Drewski of rape. We asked the chief.
Okay, I'm going to go back just a little bit, okay? I want you to... I just seen something over here. I just seen a couple of names. Let me play this one more time.
Accuses NFL player.
Okay, they're accusing the NFL player. All right, John Pelletier, Odell Beckham Jr., Drew Desbordes, aka Drewski. It says Sean Combs, aka P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, whatever, Diddy. Then it says Christina Coram, Shane Pierce, Ruben Valdez. Down here, Jacqueline Wright, aka Jaguar Wright. Everybody knows who that is, and I believe she's the one that's been saying a lot about what's going on with P. Diddy. Okay? I believe she's one of the ones that have been blowing the whistle, if I'm correct. If not, leave it in the comments. But also, who else is here? Let me see. I don't know who that is. Mateus Gonzalez, don't know. Brandy Cunningham, Janice Combs. I'm assuming she's related to Diddy. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Keith Lux, aka Big Homie CC, and John and Jane Doe. John and Jane Doe's. I-10. Those are all the defendants. If I didn't see this list and they just put these names on there, I'd be like, okay, we got to investigate that right there to see what's going on. Let's find out what happens. But just by having Jaguar right here, that to me is another detail that should raise red flags. Not against her, just the fact that supposedly she's been out there spilling the beans, and she has supposedly been spilling the beans about this for a very long time, and nobody would believe her. Just keep that in mind, people. Let's continue.
Odell Beckham Jr. and a comedian known as Drewski of rape. We asked the chief, county, police commission, and police union for a response. A Maui Police Department spokesperson says the chief has no connection to anyone in the suit. We are confident that the evidence will demonstrate these claims to be false and will expose those who are deliberately trying to manipulate the legal system to spread misleading narratives. The union declined to comment. We asked the plaintiff's attorney for additional comment too, without reply. Beckham Jr. said on his social media, "I really can't even believe that my name is mentioned in that matter. There was absolutely no truth to those allegations." Drewski said on social...
Yeah, we already heard what Drewski said. Let's speed up a little bit, people. I'm sorry. This guy spoke. They spoke right there. Let me see if he says something.
Named plaintiffs allege Pelletier arrested them at gunpoint in Las Vegas under bogus warrant charges and restrained them in his home. They allege Pelletier kept a list of safe houses for parties. The lawsuit involving Pelletier is a civil matter.
See, why did they have to throw that in? Again, like I mentioned, I know this is repeating itself, I'm sorry, but again, why did they have to mention that in? I mean, who goes, you know, if this was, excuse me, I'm not buying it. Now that I look at it more, I'm not buying it. It's a 95-page charge, okay, or whatever they call it. And it's like, number one, how long have they been investigating this to come up and need 95 pages in order to explain this? And then, like I said, out of all the names, Jaguar Wright is in this, her name. And it makes me wonder, you know, Jaguar Wright, she's out there, like I said, and if it's not her, then somebody tell me, but I could have sworn that Jaguar Wright was one of the people out there that was, you know, like I said, spilling the beans on P. Diddy, okay, amongst other people. But it's like, if that's the case, if her name keeps popping up, how come nobody has got her in front of a judge to be the, I mean, she went on multiple times, she's done it, you know, on camera. How come the authorities haven't gotten involved when it comes to P. Diddy to set all these people up that have these claims against him to go and testify? Why is P. Diddy being held incognito? It's been how many months now? And it's been crickets from regular mainstream media? I'm not buying it. Now the more I think about this, I'm not buying it.
Involving Pelletier is a civil matter. Combs' case is criminal, involving sex trafficking, plus numerous civil lawsuits.
There's a difference between a civil...
Okay, now we don't have to listen to him. And one thing, not trying to insult the man, but he's got a pretty damn deep voice. But anyway, the one main thing, even though I pointed out a few things, the one main thing that caught my attention is when they say, what they say, let me get it right, I don't want to mess it up. Okay, let me play it one more time.
List of safe houses for parties. The lawsuit involving Pelletier is a civil matter. Combs' case is criminal, involving sex trafficking, plus numerous civil...
Right there, sex trafficking. If anybody remembers, and I covered this along, you know, back when the whole thing happened with Maui, sadly, and all that, which a lot of people were covering. And it was the children that have gone missing. Okay? When it was brought up to the governor, he could barely say anything about it. When it was brought up to the mayor, he tried to stray away from it. When it was brought up to the police chief, the same thing. He tried to stray away from it. The truth of the matter is, to this day, there's still no answers about those missing children. Okay? Now, I'm not trying to accuse. I'm just saying you have to look at all this from outside the box. Way outside the box. P. Diddy has already been accused, and we already know this. This just came out, this information. As a matter of fact, a friend from Hawaii wind up texting me early in the morning, about 2 o'clock in the morning. And when I finally seen the text message, I was like, what? You know, so I had to jump on and check this information out, and sure enough, here it is. And one of the biggest things that a lot of people have accused P. Diddy of is having underage people at his parties. Minors. Okay? So you look at that, and like I said, I think outside the box, and then you go and you question Pelletier of all the missing children in Hawaii. It's got to make you wonder. It's really got to make you wonder. And like I said, I highly doubt two people that were told that a cop was told that they were homeless, and they denied those allegations. They're like, we're not homeless, we got picked up, and now this guy's trying to pull a fast one on us. Let's just say they were homeless. Let's just say they weren't homeless, and there's two people trying to make money off of this situation. All these little details, people may look at it and say, oh, it's just a coincidence. I'm sorry, I really don't believe in coincidences like this. I don't really believe in coincidences at all. Maybe one or two here or there, but when it comes to things like this is not something that could just go under the radar and say, oh, it's just a civil suit. This guy's put on leave. I mean, why is he put on leave? I thought he was Hawaii's top cop. I mean, he was able to do his job with all the scrutiny, okay, during the fires. Why should something like this take away from his duties where the mayor has to get put him on leave? Think about that. I mean, if he was able to handle all the pressure, all right, during and after the Maui fires, this is just an allegation, as per them saying so. Why would you put him on leave? I mean, he should be able to just do his job, keep running the department, and just let his lawyers, deal with this until, if there's any proof that something comes out, and then he has to address it all. But if Odell Beckham's saying that he has nothing to do with this, the police chief is saying, nope, I don't know what they're talking about. We got one tweet from the supposed comedian, and it's not like they're going to go to Rikers Island and go ask P. Diddy anything. What else can it be, people? This has nothing to do with left or right. This has to do, in my opinion, a lot of politics. It really does. It has to do with, because if you think about it, there's a lot of important people's names that haven't been released yet. And this is something where, like I said, it's got to jump into the political realm, because there are so many victims, so many different names keep coming up, and yet P. Diddy is still getting 3 hots in a cot, and nobody has been able to talk to him, and nobody is investigating him on a federal level, at least from what we know. We know that he's locked up. What they're doing, what they're asking behind, closed doors, we don't know. But at the same time, I just can't understand how P. Diddy, who hasn't been charged yet from what I know, I guess he's waiting, or whoever the powers that be are waiting, why hasn't he been able to speak about any of this? How many people got to keep coming forward with accusations, but yet it hits the mainstream for about a week or two, and then it just dies out again? Let's just say the police chief is guilty. How's that going to pan out? And if he is guilty, how many other people knew about this? Did they let him go because he knew too much, and they were like, you know what, yeah, we'll let you go, just make sure you go far away? How much farther can you go besides Alaska? But I highly doubt a man that lives in Las Vegas, he's going to want to stay somewhere nice and warm. He ain't going to want to go to Alaska, but it's not like he's going to be able to get away from it. Now all of a sudden people come up with these accusations, and the media is going to come out and right away say it's just a civil suit. I'm sorry, but not on this level. Not when this man right here, when his name is involved. I can't accept the fact that anything or anyone that's being accused, that it could be looked at like it's just a civil suit. That's just my opinion. I don't know, you tell me. And we'll wait and see how much more information comes out. But unless they get the right people to go and testify, which will be the plaintiffs right now, whoever there's 2 or 3 people, I think they need to start. I think that they need to start bringing people in for questioning. One of them will be Jaguar Wright, because she seems to know a lot. I definitely think that the government needs to step in and put some pressure on P. Diddy, because enough is enough, and say, listen, you're going to have to start talking. Don't give him a plea deal, not at all. Just make his ass start talking. And they definitely they're going to have to bring in this police chief and start asking questions. Because like I said, if Hawaii thinks he's their top cop, he didn't step down after the fires with way more accusations. I mean, proof in front of people's faces. The way things, the way things were running and the way things just didn't coincide with his word, the mayor's word, the governor's word. Everybody, said what they had to say. It was nobody's fault, but nobody was held responsible at the same time. Okay, from the power company to the fire department, the governor not being there, the mayor not being there, the police chief having his giving orders to block roads, to take away from the donation centers. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. To stopping people from videotaping and taking pictures or doing interviews. It was almost as if there was a media blackout. I mean, like I said, it wasn't that long ago, so it's not like anybody could forget. So what's going on? People keep saying that, that Epstein had a very extensive list of very, predominant people, worldwide. And, the unfortunate happened, supposedly. But P. Diddy's still here. He schmoozed with a lot of famous people. A lot of famous people. I think it's about time all this nonsense, all this bullshit, okay, it just needs to be brought out into the open, and people need to be brought in and investigated. And I'm truly hoping that's what happens. I'm truly hoping that's what happens, because if this goes under the radar, if they just push this to the side, and those people that are bringing this case forward are actually telling the truth, I would hate to think that more victims' voices are going to go unheard. Again, that's just my opinion. But anyway, I hope you like the content. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, pass the channel around. And if you can help support the channel, there's a link in my description to my Cash App and my merch store. So remember, people, stay vigilant. Keep praying for each other. Keep praying for the women and the children. Pray for this country. Pray for your enemies. Pray for Donald Trump. And don't forget to pray for all the missing children that they brought across the border. Peace.